Hello, I'm Robert, and you're welcome here in my biz little shop. On today's episode of What's on Workbench, I've got a project that I want to work on here, but I want to pose something out here as a question, and maybe in the comments you can let me know what you think. But many of the times I create my own patterns as I go, and some of it I would call kind of like a design build. As I go, I keep adding the features to it to get to where I want to be. And I've said many times, I don't use patterns, and I typically don't. But recently I've picked up a few, and there's a couple reasons why I picked up some of these patterns. The one that I'm gonna work on today here is an eyeglass case, and it's from DG Leathercraft. And Don Gonzales has a really good channel, so I'm not gonna try to show you how to do it better than he can do. You can also see it over there. But I want to explain a little bit about why I bought this. I bought this one here actually last year in August. I was in their booth at the trade show, and I wanted to buy something, you know, just as I've said before, to help give back to people that have inspired me and helped me. And I spend time watching YouTube creator videos from other creators. I don't think I've missed one of Don's videos for a couple of years now, and Aaron Heiser, I follow along on his as well, and I pick up things from each one of them. Even if it's a project I'm not interested, I pick up on it. But I got this because kind of developing some interest in leather carving, and I thought this would be kind of a nice smaller project, not a lot of time involved in it. If it doesn't turn out well, you can pitch it aside and say, let me start again, and you haven't lost that much time. So it's an eyeglass case. Let me set up over here and I'll show you what I've got. I appreciate having you in the shop with me today. What I started to touch on there was, you know, a lot of times I do videos that I develop the pattern as I go. You know, maybe it's just a size of a tool that I want to, I don't know, take this out here. If I wanted to make a holster for this or something to wear on my hip, then I just kind of start forming based off of some of my experience and things that I've seen. For some people, I think from my channel, they appreciate me showing how a particular tool works or a new tool that I've seen. And I think maybe it's helps reinforce if they're looking at maybe purchasing that tool, then it helps to maybe reinforce that. So when I first started doing leather work, I would see people's patterns, and I guess I was always a little bit reluctant, not sure exactly what I thought I would get out of the pattern. So that's one reason why I didn't go that way. And then once I started doing it on my own, I didn't feel like I needed that. But if this is a source to help you get an understanding of how different tools work, then I think maybe some of these patterns might fit into that same area. So with that in mind, I've purchased a few patterns. Now, this one here, I purchased, as I said, in Waco at the leather trade show last August. And so this is what comes in it. And I'm not trying to take credit for the design or anything. This is all Don Gonzales's, so I'm giving him his credit for that. And then these are the instructions here, and it talks about what leather, and he likes using 3 to 4 ounce veg tan, and then lining it with 2 to 3 ounce goat skin or kangaroo leather. And so I think I'm going to go that route. You could also just make it out of straight, like he's saying, 5 ounce veg or oil tan, like chap leather. And then in the package is several different designs here. Here's one here, so you could put someone's initials in a design. He's already kind of got it set for that. Or if you want to just do an accent on the case, there's a small tooling bit there. A couple of different ways of doing that. Here's a full tool design without any initials, and then here's yet another one with the initials in the corner. And you could put other things. You wouldn't have to put an initial there. You could put a brand for a particular ranch, or you know, whatever kind of decoration you want, maybe a cross there. So, and then this didn't come with it. I went ahead and purchased this as well. This is a template for cutting out your case. And so I went ahead and bought that. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, this one here, and I'm going to do a full tool on that. And I'm a little nervous with putting it on fairly thin leather. 4 ounce leather is fairly thin. So it doesn't give you a lot of room to go deep with the tooling. So I guess I won't be doing much in the way of lifting these pedals. So I'll have to go kind of light on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out some leather and we'll cut this pattern out. Let's see what it is over here. Yeah, it's closer to 3. I'm gonna take it off this side over here. Just under 4 ounces. I'm not going to try to like cut along here. I guess I could, but I feel like I could nick into the plastic. So I'm just gonna kind of do a heavy-handed scribe here around here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put tape on the back of this. And that helps to control some of the stretching. So I've got the leather here lightly cased. I didn't go crazy on it because it's not very thick. And then I went ahead and took that pattern and copied it onto some vellum. And I'll overlay this on here and tape this down. And I've in the past used a burnisher to burnish this down, and I can do that, but I like the drag of the pencil. It seems like it gives a little more resistance, and it's easier for me to follow these lines when I do that. So I'm just gonna start here, and it also leaves a lead on the vellum, and that helps me see where I've been. So I'm just gonna start here. Now the next thing I need to do is I'm gonna get me a border width here that I can live with. And I'm gonna go ahead and scribe that in from these 2 straightaways. We're going to call this my first unsupervised floral carving. We'll see how it comes out. I know where the errors are on it, and you can probably see them too, especially if you have experience. I'm going to go ahead and do the antiquing and clear before I laminate this to the goat skin to try to keep it from getting stained. After the oil had a chance to soak in and equalize in the leather, I went ahead and put a coat of tan coat on, and then that was been given time to dry. And now I'm going to put the glaze in here, and I'm using the Fivings Antique Finish Dark Brown. If you've got a glaze that you like, let me know what it is, because I need to order some more glaze soon, and I wouldn't mind having a couple other colors on hand. So if there's a glaze that you really like, I'd be interested in hearing what that is, or a different company glaze as well. I'm going to let this glaze set on here and to the point that it dries up some before I wipe it off. So probably about 15 minutes or so. All right, it's had a chance to dwell some here. Let's wipe this down and see what kind of color we get. I'm going to let this set up for probably an hour or more, and then I'll come back, put a coat of tan coat on it. So when we come back, we'll be gluing this up with goat skin. So I'm going to let this set for a couple of hours and let the antique finish dry up on this, and then I'll come back and I'll put a coat of tan coat on it and let that dry. So when we come back next, I'll be laminating this to some goat skin leather. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let me look at this. I've got a nice blue here. See if I had anything I wanted to avoid. Let's get this trimmed to size. And I don't see the mark on here, but on the template, there's a line here to start the stitch. I can lay this on here where the stitching should start there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer that to the other side as well. So to the inside here, and then line up to the inside here. I'm going to use this rougher here. I'm just going to get the edge. So I'm just going to stay on the outer bit here. Shoot for a 1/4 inch. All right, let's line this up. I'm gonna give a quick sanding here on my sander, and then I'll be back and we'll put in the stitch line here. I'm just gonna use my wing dividers here. I'll put in a stitch line. Obviously you could sew this on your sewing machine if you have one, but it's a short line here, and I think I'll just use my hand stitching. I'm just going to create my stitching holes around here. Here, get these edges rounded. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm not trying to teach you how to tool leather. I'm just trying to show you DG Leathercraft's and Don Gonzales's pattern here for an eyeglass case. You can find this on his website, including the plastic template as well. It's got clear instructions. It's a simple project, but if you're into tooling leather, you may not be into creating the patterns. I do notice people from time to time on different forums asking, do you have a tooling pattern for that? And when I get to looking at this, that's going to probably be my next hurdle, is to try to figure out how to do that. But I need to get my mind wrapped around the tooling first. And here's the finished project here. So I think if you were to make some of these, they would make great stocking stuffers at Christmas, maybe a Father's Day gift coming up. I finished it off with some black dye on the edges to mask the liner, so you didn't see that on the edge. You can finish this off a bunch of different ways. You could put dark dye in the tooled areas as well. This is just on some veg tan leather, oiled with the antique finish. Please like, share, and subscribe, and more importantly, have a great day.